What's up guys, my name is Casey and this is Zone for Geeks. In this episode we are going to be looking at the top 5 commands that every network administrator should know. I use these commands every day, multiple times a day, and are essential for troubleshooting and working as a network administrator. With that in mind, let's get started. The first command we're going to be looking at is ping. Ping is such a powerful tool. By initiating a ping to an IP address or domain name, you can easily tell if a server or computer is online. By adding -t, you can perform a continuous ping. Be warned, however, that the ability to ping a system is dependent on the host system allowing such an action. It is not uncommon for a server, appliance, or other system to prohibit ping requests. This is because hackers and bad actors can use the same utility to target machines. Here I am pinging the gateway IP for my firewall. I can log into my firewall and disallow pings. As you can see, I am still online, but ping requests to that IP are no longer working. When I configure the firewall to allow pings, you can see the response coming in. Ping is often the first step in troubleshooting a connection issue. However, like I've just shown, it should not be the definitive solution to see if a system is down. The next command we're going to see is ipconfig. ipconfig has many useful elements to it. First, it is used to get network information. Here, you can see that by using ipconfig, I have obtained all the IP addresses, network masks, and gateway IPs. You can add /all to ipconfig to get even more information, such as your MAC address, the DHCP server where your IP is pulled from, and when your IP lease expires. This information is useful when troubleshooting connections, or can be a quick way of getting network settings without logging into a router or a firewall. There are a couple of more useful things you can do with ipconfig. If, for example, you want to delete the local DNS cache, you can do that using ipconfig/flushdns. When switching to a new IP scheme in a previous video, I used the ipconfig/release and ipconfig/renew. This dropped my DHCP IP settings and sent a request to my DHCP server for a new IP address. Another useful command is traceroute. By adding a destination to traceroute, you can see each hop that is taken. This is very useful in tracking down connection issues. As a network admin, I use this primarily to determine the path traffic takes within my network. Take notice that just because a hop times out does not mean that there is a problem. It is likely that ping has been disabled for the particular jump. You can see that in the example on screen. The next command is one that I use more often than any other. That command is nslookup. On any given day, I might use this a dozen times or more. nslookup is used to get the IP address from a domain name or vice versa. This is one of the primary reasons that keeping a good DNS record is a good practice. For this example, I've jumped into my domain server, which is also my DNS. I've included both a forward and a reverse DNS record for my domain controller. In this case, that domain controller is called SVRDC1. As you can see, when I type in nslookup SVRDC1, I immediately get the IP address of that server. I can also do an nslookup with the IP address and it will return the name of the server. This is extremely useful as it is common to know either the machine name or the IP address, but not both. The last command we're going to look at is ARP. ARP stands for Address Resolution Protocol. Now when it comes to networking, a lot of people think traffic goes from point A to point B using an IP address. The reality is that while traffic is within your network, the MAC address is king. IP addresses are used for routing outside your network. So how does this knowledge help us? Well, in order to successfully send information across our network and to the internet, we need to know the IP address associated with the MAC address. When we want to access a resource, say a shared drive, we usually type in the IP address of that drive or the system name. That system name is then translated to the IP address. If that IP is with the same network, the frames are sent with a destination and source MAC address. How does this relate to ARP command? Well, ARP maps IP addresses to MAC addresses. We can see a list of IP to MAC addresses by simply using the ARP command. Here you can see all of the MAC addresses and the related IP addresses that the computer I am using is aware of. I have the ability to add and delete MAC addresses if I want by adding the -S or -D triggers to the end of the ARP. Why is this useful? Well, for starters, it's a fast and easy way of getting MAC addresses. However, as a network admin, I've run into issues where a network management card had a corrupted MAC address. Replacing the card fixed the problem, but sometimes the old MAC was still being pulled. By deleting the ARP entry, I then had the choice of adding the new entry manually or letting it auto-discover. I hope you liked this video. Make sure to leave me a comment below if you have any questions or comments. Hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.